everyone, and welcome back to Starview Magic. My name is Starview, and if you haven't joined this channel yet, or this is your first time listening, the reason I created this channel was for novice witches like myself, or witches that are still in the broom closet and haven't started experimenting yet. So I wanted to make a safe place for all of the witches that are still learning and are wanting to become witches but don't know where to start, and people that don't feel like they belong in a community, mainly solitary witches like myself. There's just not a community around me, so there's no one I had to talk to for a while. I figured this channel would be a great addition to YouTube to add to the already amazing content creators. So last video, if you are following me, I did say that we would do this over tea, so I hope you grabbed your tea. I have mine today, and it is amazing. So I'm actually drinking Passion Fruit Jolt by Tiesta Tea. This is their best tea that I've had so far. I am not sponsored by Tiesta Tea, although if you wanted to sponsor me, Tiesta Tea, go ahead and shoot me a DM. Alright, so this video will be talking about meditation and intention and brainwaves. So these are important foundational steps in any witchcraft practitioners, and this could be anywhere from paganism, neo-paganism, shamanism, Wicca, Wiccan, animist, any kind of magic. This is a solid foundation to build on. So there are specialists and there are scientists today that are saying that we should be getting 20 minutes of meditation a day, 20 minutes of exercise a day, and 20 minutes of learning something new. And I actually tend to agree with this. Meditation is just going to set the mood for your day. It's going to calm and ground you. Learning something new is something I love to do anyways. That could be the student in me. It could be anything. But I think it is very fundamental to always be growing your skill sets no matter what they are. And that could, you could be learning something related to your job or your mundane world. It doesn't necessarily have to be learning something new in witchcraft. That is entirely up to you. And then on top of those, they're also saying 20 minutes of exercise. I also agree with this. The reason being is it gets your blood pumping, gets your blood flowing, it starts getting you creative thoughts, and it's overall just healthy for your mundane body. So keep that in mind as we move forward. So first, let's talk about brainwaves. Just a little. Brainwaves itself can be days worth of content, but I'm just going to touch on a few. So there's brainwaves such as theta, delta, beta, alpha, and these brainwaves really are vital to spellcasting. For example, there's also gamma brainwave, and gamma brainwaves is basically your everyday, what I'm in right now, creative thinking, critical thinking, just problem solving. Then you have beta, and beta is when your conscious is still active, right? So you're thinking actively, you're visualizing something, you're thinking about the bills you have to pay, but you're not critically thinking with it. So your brainwaves go lower at this stage. Now the stage we witches need to be in to do successful magic is called alpha. And when you enter the alpha brainwave, it's basically pushing your consciousness out and letting your subconscious come in. So when we're doing spellcasting, it is very important that we're in the alpha brainwave state, because we want to be with our subconscious and not our conscious mind. Our conscious mind will tend to either, I won't say backfire spells, because I don't believe, well, they kind of do, and you'll hear that in just a moment. But it is important to get into that alpha state. Now, theta and delta, that is just deep meditation. You're either almost asleep or are asleep. And if you are meditating, you are in way deep, nearing astral projection range. So the higher up is gamma, and the lower down you go is the more accessible magic will be to you. Now, there are some things, if you're new or still experiencing and trying to get into these brainwaves easier, you can do guided meditations on YouTube. There's also an app called Aura. I'm also not sponsored by Aura, but it is a great guided meditation tool. There's also binaural beats. Binaural beats is where tones are played, where there's a one tone in an octave, and then it skips an octave, or not an octave, I guess, it skips up 2 beats, and then your brain's hearing 2 different beats, and it's trying to center in on that middle one. So that kind of helps get your brain energies not so conscious, if that makes sense. Next, I want to talk about grounding. Grounding is super, super, super important in witchcraft and spellcasting. Grounding is basically what it sounds like. You're grounding your body before doing any kind of spell work. And I highly recommend this because when I was first beginning, I didn't think grounding would be necessary whatsoever. I was like, I'll do my meditation, I'll get into alpha, I'll be golden, cast my circle, we're good. That's not the case. When I didn't ground, I was finding I would be completely exhausted. I was using my energy opposed to the celestial or planetary energy. It doesn't work. So take it from me, ground. So what I mean by grounding, a lot of people explain it this way, and this is kind of how I like to visualize it. When you're meditating and you're starting to feel yourself slip into a deep sleep, you'll envision yourself with just roots. Just envision roots shooting from the back of your spine, the bottom of your spine. Next, let's talk about intention. Intentions are everything to a witch. You could not have any tools, which is going to be another video. Intentions are the spellcaster's thoughts or intentions. What do you want out of this spell? What do you want from this specific herb? What do you want from this specific candle? Your intention is going to be your best friend. I do want to put a disclaimer on this. You must make sure that your intentions are completely clear. And here's an example. I recently did, at the beginning of my work, a money spell. And on that money spell, I did candle magic. I gave it its intention, and my intention was that I wanted $2,500. And that was all I put into that intention. I wanted money, I needed money quick, we needed our bills paid. $2,500 is what I needed. So flash forward a week maybe, I get a priority mail, and it was sent priority, had my information on it. When I opened it, it was a check for $2,450. It looked like a legitimate check. It had a real verified account number, a routing number. It had the company's name and logo on it. It looked completely real. So in my mind, I was like, I'll cash this check, remote deposit, and if my bank sees it as fictitious, then it'll block out. Well, it cashed. And we got the money, and we spent the money, and then it came back, my bank came back and said, this check is fictitious. And they almost held me liable because I cashed a fraudulent check. So I should have been more clear with my intention in saying, I need $2,500 in cash. I need $2,500 from work, a bonus. Make sure your intentions are clear. Here's another example of intentions going wrong. Let's say you did an addiction breaking spell to quit smoking, and you just say, I want anytime I pick up a cigarette to make me sick. I want to get sick anytime I smoke a cigarette. In your head, you could be thinking, I want to be sick nauseously, coughing, breathing, etc. But what could happen is that it's going to make you sick but it could be as far as cancer. You didn't specify how you wanted to make it sick. So you need to spend time before actually doing spell casting to make sure your intentions are in fact valid, cleared, and as there's no room for ambiguity. Alright, so now the next thing I would like to go over, I'm briefly going to touch on it because I do plan on having an episode of it. When we are casting spells, doing witchcraft, doing research, I know you've heard of it, the Book of Shadows. Extremely, extremely important to write everything down. Write everything down. The reason I say this, because one, it's a good reference point. If you cast a spell and it works, what if you don't remember those ingredients or what intentions you put in directly? Or maybe you had a spell that didn't work and you need to go back to your Book of Shadows to see, okay, what could I have done differently, or what intention could I have put in that differently to make it manifest in the way I want. I think this is super important. I myself am guilty of not having the time, or I have the time and I just don't want to sit down and write it. But I promise you, this will benefit you in the long run. So I do have my Book of Shadows, and it is chaotic at best. I am by no means an artist. Lord Goddess knows I wish I was, but I am not. So I don't think that I will show you my Grimoire Book of Shadows, because honestly it's just notes, some drawings that are awful. So what I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and link up Olivia, the Witch of Wonderlust, has a beautiful video of her doing her grimoire book, and she's such an artist, it's unbelievable. So I would encourage all of you to go check that out if you're new to the Book of Shadows and grimoires and you want to start making your own and you are artistic. Her examples are just phenomenal. So another note I would like to make about this channel: it is non-denominational. This channel is for anyone practicing any kind of magic. That could be Psalmic magic, Nordic magic, Celtic magic, folk magic, Hecate magic, no deities, Christian, any kind of magic, you are all welcome here. I will try to give high levels so it doesn't fit into one category. And if you have any feedback or recommendations that you would like to see, I can try to put together a video that kind of goes into high levels of it, what you need to start with, where you can get your resources, etc. Just, leave that in the comments and let me know. So the next thing I want to cover, and this kind of goes along with your grounding or spell casting, is to cast a circle. I'm not sure if all of you are going to be familiar with this, so I'm going to kind of do kind of an introduction. It'll be later on seen on camera when I do my spell videos. But basically what it is a witch will cast a circle, either in chalk, using a crystal wand, using the athame, using whatever they have to cast a circle before doing spell casting. And this is to keep out negative energies that may interfere with your spells, and as well to keep the practitioner safe from any harmful spirits. So when you do this, you basically are doing, I've heard it several ways. The way I personally do it is I will do a clockwise circle, so I will turn and face all the directions starting in the east, and when I do this, I am bringing in protection. Anything in witchcraft that I've come across is, if you are trying to bring in something like abundance, knowledge, power, whatever it may be, if you are bringing in something, it is going to be a clockwise motion. Always. I guess that's probably anti-clockwise for you. Just know it's my clockwise. Now, if you are trying to banish, get rid of, reverse, anything like that, it's going to be in a clockwise fashion. The caveat to this is that if you are working with the dark moon and working with dark goddesses and guardians, they do cast their spells counterclockwise, as well as call upon each watchtower guardian. And we'll go into that much later. We are just covering the basics right now, but a little foreshadowing for you. So I personally think, again, meditation 20 minutes a day, exercise 20 minutes a day, and learn something new 20 minutes every day will assist you in your work. And the reason I say this, and actually, I'm going to be one of those content creators. You are going to have homework this week. What I would love and encourage all of you to do is to, maybe 20 minutes is too much for you of each. I understand that life gets in the way. Start out small. Let's say the first day we'll do 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes of exercise, and 5 minutes of learning. No big deal. But if you do that, I encourage you to build upon that to where you can get to the 20 minutes of each by the end of the week. Doing this, it's actually going to solidify the willpower of yourself. You're basically saying, I'm going to do this. And when you follow through with that, that is your willpower strengthening. And willpower in witchcraft is everything. You need to be able to will spirits, will guardians, will protection. Your will is everything. Another reason for this homework assignment, and I know I'm not a teacher, but I'm promising you this will help, is that if you're learning something new, that's just more knowledge for you personally. I mean, that alone to me, and again, it might be the student in me, but it's worth it. And I know a lot of you, or some of you, I'm not trying to make a category for you, but maybe you can't exercise. Maybe you've had your knees replaced, or maybe you've had back surgery. That's completely fine. Anything to get your heart going and your blood pumping, and just being able to commit to that commitment is going to be good enough. So whether it's holding a dumbbell and just doing some reps, 20 minutes, that's fine. I encourage you all to walk in nature, take a walk around your block, just get out into nature for your exercises. But again, if that's not possible, anything will work for this assignment. I would love for you guys to do this, and after your 7-day mark, let me know if you're seeing any transformations within your body, your mind, your spirit, and your spell work, and you can just leave that below in the comments. And I believe that by doing so, you'll see a drastic change in your spellcraft and your mundane life. Another thing I would like to add for your assignment is to speak no lies. And the reason I say that is because from almost every book that I've come across, I've always seen the witch's word is her everything. A witch cannot lie. And the reason for this is because the moment you tell a lie, it immediately nullifies vibrational voice and your vibrational spell casting. So the moment you do that, it's gone. So what I mean by not lying, let's say you have a coworker and she looks hideous, and she comes up to you and she's like, oh my God, do you see how, beautiful I look today? Am I beautiful? Do I look good? And you know she don't. Girl, she don't. But what you can do is be like, that dress is elegant. That, whatever the situation is, don't lie about, things like that. I mean, there's ways around it. Just say, you do look beautiful today, because she's radiating beauty from her inside. She may not look it, but she feel it, and you're not lying to her. Just try to keep up with these exercises, and like I said, give it about 7 days. Let me know if anything changes there. And that should help with your willpower, and eventually when we get to our spellcasting videos, I think it's going to surprise you on how well versus what you've already been doing. So to recap what we went through today, we went through meditation, we went through intentions, we went through altered states of consciousness with our brainwave activities. We have the theta, beta, gamma, alpha, delta. We touched on those. I gave you a homework assignment, and to recap, if you're just skipping to the end to see the recap, your homework assignment is going to be for 7 days. We are going to build and do 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of exercise, whatever that may be for you, and then we're going to do 20 minutes of learning something new, and that can be any material in the world that you would like to learn more of. The last thing on your homework assignment is to not tell a lie. The witch's word is her everything. So be sure to stick by these for the next 7 days. Let me know your guys' outcome in the comments. And then just to kind of give you a foreshadowing, there's some videos coming up that are going to be some book reviews for beginners. I think I'm going to roll like Wiccan and non-denominationals and kind of give you a brief overview of what I've come over. And then as we go on, I'm going to give more in-depth book reviews over intermediate material, more so than the novice material, just kind of as we grow as a channel and a community. Again, I want to thank you for subscribing and liking and being a supporter of Starvey Magic. Like, this is a dream to be able to have a community of like-minded individuals and grow together. Again, if you don't already know, I have a Discord server, and in that Discord server we go over recipes and different rituals that each of us are doing for each Sabbath. We're very non-denominational. Right now I am working with the deity Hecate, and I think I'm getting a calling from another one, but that's for a different video. But there's Nordic magicians, there's chaos magicians, there's broom closet magicians that may be going into the Psalmic magic. It's just a coven of amazing people all over the world, and I encourage you to join, and I will link that below, as well as the others I did mention in this video. Again, I want to thank you for supporting the community, and from all of us at the Coven, I want to thank you for joining, and I hope you have a blessed day.